of the Supermodel. There's something going on in the fashion world. Actress Melanie Griffith hawks lipstick for Revlon.
Do it for your lips.
X-Files star Gillian Anderson poses for ads for designer Emmanuel. And Hillary Clinton is on the cover of this month's Vogue. Now don't panic. The First Lady on the cover of a fashion magazine is not a sign that the world is coming to an end. But it is part of a new trend, which means the supermodel might be, dare I say, out of fashion.
It's over. There are no more new supermodels. The era of Claudia and Cindy was a phase, and then all the model agencies found 1,000 girls who would work for the same amount of money as one Claudia Schiffer. And there are no new megastars.
What is the definition? Do you call somebody a super actor? Somebody a super artist, a super doctor? No.
The supermodel thing I'm not so sure about anymore because they seem to be phasing it out. The supermodels are in trouble right at the moment. You know, with the mess with certain models, I will leave nameless.
We're talking about the biggest names in the business. Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer, Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, and the girl who once said she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day, Linda Evangelista. And lately, these big names have had big trouble. Cindy Crawford has been more super than model, branching out to movies and TV with limited success. She recently posed for Playboy, which some people think is a giant step backwards.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
At a fashion show in Portugal last month, Linda Evangelista reportedly looked bloated, which is probably what you and I would consider normal. She also stumbled on the runway and was forced to return part of her huge day rate.
She's just a cosmic girl.
Then there's Naomi Campbell, who 2 weeks ago posed for a very different kind of picture, a mugshot. Now, what were the charges against Naomi?
Well, basically, this girl who worked for about a week as her personal assistant claims that Naomi beat her over the head with a telephone, tried to push her out of a moving vehicle, and abused her verbally and made her life a living hell.
Now, Naomi is being sued for $2 million by that assistant. And of course, there's the original waif, Kate Moss, who recently catwalked into a rehab clinic.
She admitted she was partying too much.
And just last week, Kate went out for a spin in her $100,000 BMW. Unfortunately, she left some meditation candles burning in her rehab room, which started a fire that caused the clinic to be evacuated. Guess she wanted to leave in a blaze of glory. With the fashion world whispering that the top girls are not as super as they used to be, maybe it's just a case of no one staying red hot forever.
The supermodels are not ruling the scene right now. And I think the reason for that is it's reactionary. Everything in fashion is a reaction.
Linda Wells is editor-in-chief of Allure magazine. Her recent cover girls include Jerry Halliwell, a.k.a. Ginger Spice, and Jennifer Aniston.
So you put a celebrity on the cover of the magazine, a reader zipping by a newsstand. She sees the cover of a celebrity whose name she knows and whose next project she might be interested in, and she'll gravitate toward that.
Fox Files had some supermodel sightings recently, so we tried to get their opinions.
And I think it's very important that children today, all children, have medicine, clean water.
Claudia Schiffer is the chair for UNICEF's new greeting card campaign. We asked her how she feels about the recent controversy. But her publicist wouldn't let her talk much about her modeling career.
I've just completed a movie here in New York. It's called Black and White by James Toback.
Cindy Crawford was in New York recently at the opening of her husband's new bar, Whiskey Blue.
I'm just here to support him. This is his thing, and it's actually really nice to be at an event where it's not about me and I can just come and be the support person.
Not about her, as you can see.
So the supportive wife didn't want to talk much about her supermodel life.
Oh, so here's what all the girls.
We spoke with one of the original supermodels about all of this, Beverly Johnson.
Models particularly get a bad rap in the sense that people fail to realize that they're just human. They're beautiful young women that make a lot of money very quickly. And the things that most young women are doing, like going to college, these women are traveling the world and living in this bubble of glamour that people from the outside look in and think that they're just not nice people. And I don't think it's so.
But if gorgeous models are on the way out, what's on the way in? We asked Sandra Bernhard.
I say, open up to me, baby, express yourself, you're going to implode.
I've modeled because of who I am, not because, of my perfect looks. I think if I'd been a teenager now, I could have modeled. Because now all kinds of extreme looks are in. You don't have to be the Cindy Crawford, turned up nose, Christy Brinkley look. You can be extremely exotic, which I fall into that category.
They're becoming more real. I mean, they're still a little thinner and a little taller than any normal person.
You're seeing a lot of really fresh new faces, and we were really looking for a lot of new girls that maybe you haven't seen a lot before.
They don't have classically beautiful bodies, but they're models. They're much smaller than the supermodels physically. Their proportions are much smaller. They're skinnier. They're younger, and they're, in a way, simpler looking.
Every few years, it seems that we get a new generation of the girls coming out. And this time, it seems that we're getting more real girls.
It's not about perfection. It's about individuality. It's not about being white or black. It's about being mixed. It's about having an ethnicity. It's about having an identification that represents the world.
Do you think the days of the supermodels are almost over?
Yeah, because they'll probably be the super mega model next.
This is the story of the last poets.
Niggas are scared of revolution, but niggas shouldn't be scared of revolution because revolution is nothing but change. But when it comes for real change, niggas are scared of revolution.
A story of rhythm and music.
I am a poet.
Poetry is black words floating on black rhythm. Poetry is black people moving and grooving. Poetry is Aretha Franklin and Ray Charles.
Harlem, 1968. At the heart of the civil rights movement, the poets performed for the first time at a birthday party for Malcolm X.
And you, Malcolm, are a part of me. I rise.
Their words sing of pride and revolution.
How times have changed men. How men have changed times.
Combining American gospel and blues with Latin beats, rock, and the roots of traditional African rhythms. Over the past 25 years, the last poets see their art form as manifested all over the globe in today's rap and hip-hop.
Yo, hip-hop is a way of life. It ain't a fad, it ain't a trend, not for those of us who are true to it. It's reflected in our slang, in our walk, and in our stance, in our dress, and in our attitude. Hip-hop has a history and origin and a set of principles, including rules and regulations, that a lot of these new kids overlook nowadays.
Tonight you're gonna see some breaking, and some rapping, and some breaking, and some scratching, and some graffiti. And then you're gonna see some more breaking, more breaking, more breaking, more breaking. Jazz, yeah, is a woman's tongue stuck dead in your mouth. You dig it? Jazz, yeah, is a woman's tongue stuck all in your mouth.
It's funny how money changes situations.
This is the story of passion and pain.
As it progressed, we became more and more popular and poured
poorer. And at some point, it does end up with them coming after me later on, and I get the beating of my life.
Moms believe in God. I believe in revolution.
And it was talking about we are a new breed of men. We are the last poets of the world.
Madness and mayhem.
Man, that's it. You know, we'll call ourselves the last poets. We created a form, an art form, which is very important in this story. Because like now you have a thing, rap. And like blues, like jazz, like any art form, the people who create it, I mean, that's where the blood, sweat, and tears comes out. But once it's there, anybody who has an understanding of it can imitate that art form.
Black man, black heart, black soul. I am Nat Turner, James LaMoon. I'm Marcus Garvey and Du Bois. I am Bird and Lester Young. I am Dinah and Lady Day, Sam Cooke and Otis Redding. I am Malcolm and Martin Luther King. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no tickets, just get on board.
Powered by the beat of the drum, these 6 individuals have experienced a generation's worth of tragedy and triumph. Our film will chronicle the lives, the history, and the power of a group of individuals whose influence today is pervasive and who are the last poets.
I need a paycheck.
And boy, did she get one. Maybe Steve Martin had a point at the Oscars when he mentioned the reason we're all paying $10 a ticket is to pay Julia's salary. She broke Hollywood records as the first woman to earn $20 million in one movie. But Julia isn't the first movie queen to break records. Queen Elizabeth was the first to earn $1 million for Cleopatra.
You will kneel.
I will what? Liz's deal also included 10% of the gross profits, which tallied up to the equivalent of $39 million in 2001 dollars. The idea of sharing the profits was new then, but business as usual these days.
What some studios will do in order to limit the risk, in order not to pay so much money to these stars up front, is to give them a bigger piece of the profits. That's called money on the back end. So what the stars will do, they'll take a lower upfront fee, they'll take a bigger piece of the profits.
Forbes magazine just published their annual Celebrity 100 list.
They've determined that if they want to make a $200 million a picture, they need to have a couple big stars, and right now there's just a handful of stars that can open a movie, and opening a movie means, you know, doing 30, 40, 50 million at the box office opening weekend, and they're willing to pay $20 to $25 million to get that star.
Cover star Bruce Willis made over $70 million last year. How?
Here's a guy whose star really was fading over the last couple films. He chose some bombs. Disney took a gamble on him and paid him a little bit up front in exchange for a bigger piece of the back end, the movie's profits. Fortunately for Bruce, one of the movies was 6 Cents, which was a huge, huge hit.
Harrison Ford will make $25 million for K-19. That's $1.25 million a day for 20 days of work.
At the end of the day, we'll find out if the movie does 100 or 200 million. It was worth it. If it bombs or only does 30 million, then obviously they overpaid.
Of course, there's always the international box office, where earnings can bring home at least 50%. That's how guys like Sly Stallone can still make a buck or two.
Take 2, alien mark.
And what kind of change does Oscar add? Not much for Julia. She's already on top. But this Aussie?
Russell Crowe, while he got $2 or $3 million for Gladiator, you know, the fact that the movie did so well, he was already going to get a bump for his next picture. Winning an Oscar, you know, is icing on that cake, but it does mean he'll ask for a couple $1 million more.
How about $15 million more for his current production, A Beautiful Mind?
You're doing this move, you're jumping up.
Oh, and it also pays to stand behind the camera. Director George Lucas tops the list at $250 million. His buddy Steve didn't do badly either.
Last year, Steven Spielberg made, we estimate about $51 million, much of it coming from Saving Private Ryan, profits from that, plus his catalog. You know, the Amblin Library just generates all sorts of video cassette sales.
So where does it end? When will anyone yell, cut?